Guys, I'm so excited to be talking to you about one of my favorite shows / comic book series in the world, and it's Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon started as a comic book series that was targeted towards female teenagers. Arguably, I would say it was one of the best shoujo series about this girl who transforms into a sailor fighter character and fights monsters to protect the silver crystal. And eventually she leads a group of other sailors that represent other planets. There are different story arcs as the story progresses, but for the most part, the duty of Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts is to protect the solar system from evil trying to destroy it. It was truly my obsession as a child. There were the prettiest transformation scenes. From a normal girl to a Sailor Scout, the catchiest songs, the coolest battle sequences, and the best battle fashion of all time. Okay, so I'm not gonna just be raving about Sailor Moon. I wanted to share with you all my Sailor Moon memorabilia, at least a small part of my collection, so we can take a trip down memory lane together and you can get to know me better as well. Comment below, let me know if you watched Sailor Moon or even read the manga / comic book as a child, and let me know who your favorite Sailor Scout was. My favorite is Sailor Saturn. I felt like I could relate to her the most because she's quiet, kind of introverted, but the deadliest, super intense too, as the sailor of death and rebirth. Those are huge powers to wrangle in. And she was purple, and you know my favorite color is purple. So I have mainly notebooks and cards. I'll go through them each one by one, give some commentary, and I hope you have fun. I have official and non-official merchandise, just a heads up. Okay, let's get on to the first item. First up, I have this notebook, and I actually bought this in the Philippines. I looked in the back of this and noticed that it was created under license in the Philippines. It has the primary Sailor Scouts on it: Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Venus, Sailor Mercury. In the background, it has this very typical shoujo kind of dreamy background that I feel like was in all shoujo anime, not just in Sailor Moon. Whenever this bubble background would come up, there would be kind of that like romantic kind of music that would come up. But what's in this notebook is just a lot of my drawings and everything. Oh, and just Sailor Moon in the back. Looks like Sailor Moon just got mirrored in the back. I think I probably got this when I was 11 years old. Yeah, you'll see my 11-year-old handwriting. Although I don't know if people really ever grow out of their handwriting. As a child, I was super into drawing too. So you can see I drew Sailor Jupiter in her normal girl form. In the original Japanese version, her name was Makoto. In English, I believe it was Lita. I also drew Sailor Venus. Sailor Venus is actually my favorite before Sailor Saturn was discovered as another Sailor Scout. In English, her name was Rina, which I wrote down here. In Japanese, it was... shoot, I don't remember her name. Her name was Minako. I'm so embarrassed, I totally forgot what it was in Japanese. For every page, it's the outlined version of the front page cover. I guess you're looking at my past 11-year-old self and more of my passion for drawing at that time. I'd say Sailor Moon really got me into drawing. I used to closely analyze the characters and try to draw them in my own poses and even create my own almost like fan fiction, but visual fan fiction of the characters and story myself. I just looked at the back page and I found lyrics to a song that I wrote when my friends and I created a girl group in, I'm gonna say like 5th or 6th grade. I think that's gonna be a story for another time, but it's so funny how I have that kind of history preserved in this notebook. I can never get rid of this notebook. Second, I have another notebook. And this one, again, has the primary Sailor Scouts, the first 5 in the first season of Sailor Moon. But this one actually has a little description. I'd say this art style is a lot more minimal. It almost has like an 80s kind of throwback feel. So there isn't any shading or anything. It's like I tried to solve some math problems using this notebook, probably for my homework. But this notebook has more of my drawing, so you'll be able to see what 10, 11-year-old me used to draw. It's kind of fun looking at how my drawing style has changed throughout the years. Inside of this notebook is much more simpler than the other notebook. It just has Sailor Moon posed, copied from the front cover. In the back, more math problems. Math is my worst subject, so it looks like I did try very hard not to fail. The funniest thing I found in this notebook is that I wrote up a mock interview between Queen Serenity. Queen Serenity is Sailor Moon's future self, to Diana. Diana is the guardian cat of Chibiusa or Rini. Chibiusa is Sailor Moon's daughter in the future. That sounds complicated, I know. Watch the TV show or read the manga if you don't know what all this means. It'll take me days probably to explain the relationships between all the characters. I'll read you an excerpt of the interview, this mock interview that I wrote. Queen Serenity, have you ever been to Chibiusa's web pages? Diana, how should I know? I don't even know how to get onto the chair to the computer. So even back then, up until now, I had a very sarcastic sense of humor. If anything, it's really cool to look back as to how my art style has changed and to see that my whack sense of humor has not changed one bit since I was a child. I also have a stack of Sailor Moon cards. There are a ton of cards, so I'll kind of try to give you as best of a montage as I can. I don't think this is official merchandise. These are actually all stickers. Maybe they're meant to be stickers and not cards, but they're in the shape of cards, so I don't really know. I mean, I bought them because obviously I love Sailor Moon and they were pretty. All of the cards are holographic, and they feature the different characters. You can read more about the characters looking at the back of the card. I chose a few cards that I wanted to go through specifically just to highlight different memories that came up, or if they brought up any important kind of tidbits that I wanted to share. So first up, here's Sailor Jupiter in a really pretty dress. You can only see part of the dress on the card, but you can see the entire dress in the back. And really just showcases to me how pretty all the dresses were. This dress hasn't gone out of style, but I don't know, I'm a sucker for high-low dresses, so this one takes the cake for me in terms of favorite dresses. My husband made a funny comment. We were watching a shoujo anime a few days ago saying that in shoujo anime, the characters actually change their clothes versus in shonen or anime that's targeted towards boys, where they wear the same clothes the entire season or even for the entire show. And I was like, I can actually see that. And the author actually draws them in different clothes, so. The Sailor Starlights are looking very dapper. These characters were very groundbreaking because these were actually girls that disguised themselves as boys. They had the special power to transform into girls when they had to fight. If you watch the last season of Sailor Moon, you'll understand more about this, but I feel like it kind of helped open eyes towards gender fluidity through anime, especially for youngins like me. Here's Sailor Mars, looking gorgeous in a ball gown. So again, one of my favorite things about Sailor Moon is just the fashion in general. This looks like a very Christmassy outfit. I think she's wearing like poinsettia flowers. Here's a card with all the chibi characters. I feel like Sailor Moon had the cutest chibi forms of the characters. They're kind of plumpy and stumpy. I don't really know. You just kind of want to squish them because you're so cute. The back of this card has them in their non-chibi normal forms though. Something unique about Sailor Moon was that for each season, the Sailor Scouts outfits would upgrade a little bit and they would change a little bit. So you can tell by what their battle outfits look like, what season the show was in. So for this one, because their kind of shoulder pads had a clear piece to it, they have hearts on their middle bows, and their chokers have stars. You can tell that this is from the Sailor Moon Super Sailor arc of the show. So the author, Takeuchi Naoko-san, really focused on the details and brought them out in this show. And I really think that focus on the details really propelled to make this such an iconic show and comic book series. Then have Sailor Pluto. Like, if she was walking the red carpet, this is the dress that she would wear. Very elegant. I believe she's the oldest of all the Sailor Scouts too, so it makes sense that she wears more of this grown-up outfit. This sounds kind of funny, but I feel like I'm commenting on red carpet outfits, but instead of celebrities, it's Sailor Moon characters. Then Sailor Star Healer. So, oh my gosh, these were the most daring outfits in the series. I don't think I could pull off that bra-like top and how short those shorts get, especially with the little peakage in the middle of the shorts. But I love it. I don't know how the author was able to conjure up all these cool, iconic looking outfits. Sailor Star Healer is so cute. She was the shortest one of all the Sailor Starlights. And then here's Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune. I want to say not Victorian, but probably more like 1900s or 1800s style inspired outfits. And their relationship is a mystery. You didn't know, like, do they like each other more than friends? Are they together? Are they not together? Their friendship or connection helped open up eyes to relationships other than just between boy and girl, that there were other possibilities. And then for this card, I really just wanted to show, here's Sailor Moon's lover, boyfriend, future husband, tuxedo mask, or tuxedo command in Japanese. I wasn't boy crazy growing up at all. I thought their relationship was very cute, but I don't know, I think Tuxedo Mask made fun of her a lot. I didn't really know how they got together just because I felt like he was just mean to her, and I didn't see anything from his side showing that he actually wanted to be with her and that he actually liked her, respected her, because Sailor Moon is kind of a klutzy, clumsy, she's not the smartest character, and he's older than her, has his own place, independent, so I don't know, maybe this is an excuse to rewatch the show, maybe there are just some things that I missed watching it as a child. And then finally, Sailor Moon and Chibi Chibi. So Chibi Chibi shows up in the last season. I find these two outfits very interesting. I wonder if this was supposed to be Sailor Moon's wedding dress. I don't know. And then Chibi Chibi is supposed to be the flower girl. I mean, she's holding flowers. This is very fashion forward too. Sailor Moon was made in the early 90s, and this dress looks like it would be something that would be walking down fashion runways in Paris, for example. I also love how their buns are decorated with flowers as well. Again, Takeuchi-san did not miss the little detail. So I'm gonna need to find a way to display the cards better out in the open so I can appreciate them all the time and they're not just stuck in a binder somewhere. I also have the Sailor Moon Crystal Air Freshener. This is lavender scented, so it's supposed to have a very flowery scent. As you can tell, I haven't even opened it yet and I kind of don't want to. I just want to keep it as a display piece. It looks like this one was made after the Sailor Moon Crystal TV show or as part of marketing, I think, for Sailor Moon Crystal, which is the newest Sailor Moon series. It's not a new season, but is more of a remix of the original series, so I watched a little bit of it. It's funny because I found this at the mall. It just shows how ubiquitous Sailor Moon is years and years after the show ended, and yes, there is a reboot series, but it's just kind of funny finding it at the mall. And you can see that the animation for Sailor Moon Crystal is a lot different, so they're very long. I feel like they're going for a very idealistic shoujo art style with this air freshener. So if I ever open it, I'll let you guys know if it smells amazing. For now, I just like to look at it. I have more of a miscellaneous Sailor Moon package to show you because I don't have the item with me. So this is the package for a Sailor Moon towel holder that I have at my parents' place. If you're interested in watching a follow-up video, comment below and let me know. But I'd love to create a follow-up video when I find more of my Sailor Moon merchandise. But I kept the packaging because it's really pretty and I bought this in the Philippines. So this is memories for me as well of the time I first went to the Philippines and bought some memorabilia. And there were a lot of Sailor Moon products, just in general Japanese animation products in the Philippines at that time compared to the US. So I kind of went crazy. I wanted to buy everything. You can see the packaging is super sparkly. I actually have some Sailor Moon cards in it. Here's Sailor Moon and Chibiusa on the bottom of the package. I love this artist animation. There were artists that would draw different episodes and I love the art style of this artist the most. Very clean, rounded, but sharp at the same time. Ugh, so pretty. This actually gives you a good marker of how tall each of the Sailor Scouts are compared to each other. It's the iconic Sailor Moon pose. The pose that Sailor Moon, who's Eternal Sailor Moon, the last season incarnation of Sailor Moon, and Sailor Chibi Moon. And I have several like random knickknacks in here too. So here's Sailor Venus that I cut out from the card. I can't find any of the other cards. These are actually based off the American version of Sailor Moon. So you can kind of see how different the American dubbed Sailor Moon style is compared to the Japanese style of Sailor Moon. Here's Sailor Mars on a holographic card. Here's Tuxedo Mask throwing roses. And then Sailor Venus being as smiley as usual. So yeah, I just keep this for posterity's sake. I've had this now for, gosh, more than half my life already, so this packaging has lasted a long time. That's some quality packaging. And then definitely more fan-drawn merchandise, not official merchandise. When I went to Atlanta to attend Anime Week in Atlanta there, I met one of my favorite artists, and she actually drew these Sailor Moon bookmarks, and it's in their chibi form, so adorable, depicting the specific attacks of all the Sailor Scouts, so I wanted to walk you guys through those. I hung each character spaced out on the string lights in my office so I can always look at them, and I really love how I can not only support Sailor Moon but support my favorite artists by purchasing the bookmarks. I love how distinct each character is. There's a ton of personality, and her use of color is out of this world. So check her out, Bara-chan. I might go through the art that I have from her in future videos if you're interested. But yes, this is one of the crowning jewels of my Sailor Moon collection. So that's it of what I could find of my current Sailor Moon collection. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun shooting it. I hope you had just as much fun watching it. Thank you so much for your support. You are awesome. Have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye!